My guest today is the DJ for the Sacramento Kings of the NBA, Darling Aviary in Sacramento, and you can catch her at Azteca Rooftop on June 23rd. Please welcome DJ Stace Lace to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing great today. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I'm just interested in well, for one, obviously like DJing with an NBA team, that must be awesome, everything like that. But also just how you got into it, DJ experience so far, everything like that. So to start things off, the first question I normally ask people, what first got you into music or into DJing?
Let's start with music
Yeah,
because
yeah.
music has actually been like my whole life. I grew up in a musical family. My mother, she loved to sing. She still sings occasionally. And my stepfather, he played the saxophone. He actually toured the world twice playing the saxophone for the Air Force,
That's awesome.
interestingly enough. But yeah, I mean, the first time he actually had to compete to tour with them, and the second time they just asked him. They were like, "Look, we need a saxophone player. We know you're the guy." So most of my Saturday mornings were, I was waking up around 7 a.m. hearing the saxophone playing in the house.
Yeah, yeah. So that definitely a musical family. Definitely growing up around music, hearing music,
Yeah,
things like that. And I guess that's super interesting because a lot of people, grow up in a musical family in the sense that they love listening to music, they're sharing their favorite bands and whatnot. It's so interesting that you're waking up each morning to your stepdad playing original music or I guess other songs as well, but playing saxophone, knowing an instrument, things like that.
yeah.
Was he interested in teaching you the saxophone at all or anything like that, or do you know any instruments?
I don't. I wanted to learn how to play an instrument, but my strongest suit was singing. So
Mhm.
all through elementary school, junior high, high school, and my first year of college, I was always in choir.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I've been singing. Like I was singing in a choir from like the age of 10 through like 20. So like 10
Yeah.
years, 10 years of
Yeah.
choir.
Yeah. And
I've never even
then
really thought about it that way, but yeah, it was pretty nonstop choir.
so that first year of college, second year of college, is that the time where you sort of went from singing to DJing, or how did DJing start?
Oh gosh, DJing didn't start until after I had already had been married. I had three of my kids. Um, my former spouse was a music producer, and we had a record label for quite some time. We used to always have a music studio in any home that we lived in. So the music theme continued in my life. Eventually, when he wanted to step away from producing music, he started getting into DJing, but he was too busy to actually DJ as much as he wanted to. And so he offered me the opportunity to learn. He was just like, "Hey, I think you'll like this." And I thought he was crazy. I was just like, I'm busy. I don't have time playing around with this DJ stuff. I don't have time
Yeah.
for that. And but he showed me a few things, and I was just like, okay, I'll dabble in it. And then once I realized, like, my strengths are in music theory, because I actually had to learn music. I had to learn how to read music and all that, being in choir for so long. And so understanding measures, understanding rhythm, and all those things, DJing actually ended up just coming to me really naturally. And then having a broad musical background, being pretty eclectic, um, I liked playing all different types of music. So that was about, I want to say that was around 2010 was when I started learning how to DJ. And by 2011, I was just like, all right, let's go do this.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. And I mean, it seems like even with the things you're mentioning, like owning a record label and stuff like that, and DJing, being married to a producer, it seems like you've always held music very close. Was it like a known thing that you wanted to grow up and do music, or was there like any other career paths you were thinking of?
Oh, oh man. Um, I could definitely say when I was a kid, me and my friends, like when I was like, 10 years old, 11 years old, me and my friends, we would write songs and sing together and
Hmm.
perform for our parents. So I would definitely say a childhood dream was doing music, but I only considered being an entertainer a dream because, growing up, You know, I grew up in a very real, real world. Like, you
Yeah.
better go to college and get a degree, and you need to have a plan A, B, C, etc. And so, throughout the years, I tried lots of different things, and I've tried working in different businesses. I've held many different licenses. I've done so much. It's kind of wild, but all of that business experience, I basically took that and applied it to DJing, because once I discovered how much I loved to DJ, I was like, all right, how can I do this for a living? Like, everything else can go on the back burner. This is what I really want to do. And sheesh, that's how I'm here. That's why we're talking right now, because
Yeah.
I decided to put all those other things away, and like, holding licenses, and like having a team of people doing this, that, and the other. I put all that away, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to get back to my childhood dream and be an entertainer, do something that like makes people happy.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm sure, like you mentioned, growing up in this like realistic household, which I totally understand. I feel like a lot of people don't grow up with like with examples of people who are entertainers, DJs, producers, whatever, and like that's not really seen as like a career path, and it's not as like clear cut as most jobs. It's like if you go to college and get a degree in one of the main things, there's usually like an entry level job that you get, and it's like a pretty clear path. I feel like with a lot of the music and creative stuff, it's a lot more vague and like trying to make it yourself and stuff like that. But whether it's, you know, taking uh real world jobs, I'll say, and like
Yeah.
putting those on the back burner or whatever it is, if there's someone else who's like trying to take that leap into DJing and get it started, what tips or advice would you give to them?
Well, first of all, that you have to believe in yourself. Like, really, anything you're doing, even if you're pursuing a career, a desk job, a 9 to 5, you really do have to believe in yourself. And it doesn't even matter what level of skill you have left yet. Like, it's still not even one of those things where you're like, oh, when I'm really good at this, then I will start. I can't tell you how many things that I learned by starting. And I actually went through a period of time, because I wanted to pursue something else for a while. I tried to get away from DJing, and it didn't work. It was just chasing
Yeah.
after me. but really, you do have to follow your heart. If your heart is telling you, you're an entertainer, you're a DJ, you will continue to find joy in it. If it's really not in your heart to do, and it's not really a dream, then it will become a chore, and it will start to feel like work, and it will start to be stressful and anxious. And this is me just this, I'm giving you like a fundamental, to starting anything. I
Yeah.
started so many different businesses, and a lot of them I did because I wanted to make money. And money was the driving motivation. It was never a passion. It was just always, I want to make that money.
Yeah.
So, so whatever anyone is pursuing, whether it's music, entertainment, what I used to do, I used to sell life insurance and annuities.
You have experience in everything.
um,
You know a
I've
bit
done a
about
lot.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like you're talking to the right person today. If you really want to inspire people to pursue their dreams, like, really get into what your heart is saying, what is your soul saying and telling you is going to be good for you and beneficial for you. So that's definitely step number one. Step number two, after you know yourself and believe in yourself, then the best thing to do is to find a mentor. Because when you meet someone else that's already done it, and they're willing to spend time with you and tell you how they've done it, then it's like, there's no reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
They already tell you, like, when you're ready to have a residency, do this. This is how you want to form a contract. This is how you agree on how much you're going to get paid. If you decide that you want to be a mobile DJ and do events, decide what kind of events you want to do. Are you ready for weddings? Do you want to be a sound engineer and set up concerts? There are so many avenues where you can go with DJing. So that's definitely the second step, is deciding, okay, like, what kind of a DJ you want to be, and finding a mentor in that area.
Yeah.
I had several mentors. I did not do this by myself. And I'm so grateful for those mentors because what that allowed me to do was to glean from all their wisdom. And anytime I felt myself in a pickle, I could call them or text them and say, hey, this came up or this is going on. What do you think I should do? And I didn't have to like sit there and think it
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
myself. So you
Yeah.
can
You
lean on
didn't. You
someone
didn't
else's
have to.
experience.
You didn't have to make a judgment call. You didn't have to like head to Google and be like, how to
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
There's
nice to
somebody
have that connection.
who,
And
and last but not least, I'm going to put everybody on game here. And I do this for just about anyone. I have students as well. I mentor people as well. If you decide you want to be an event DJ, it always sounds very expensive starting out DJing. One of the most expensive things you'll have to have out of pocket is a really good laptop. And Mac, it's like really literally I know it's pricey, but it's going to be one of the best. It's going to have one of the best processors. Everything's going to move as fast as it's supposed to so that you can DJ. But everything else you can get through American Music Supply or another website called Zounds. And what these websites allow you to do is you can buy speakers, stands, the equipment that you need to go out and DJ, and you can make payments. And even though you're making payments, it's layaway right away. I don't know if anybody out there even remembers what layaway is.
it's definitely beyond my time.
I have some life
I
experience.
understand that it's payments. I
And
don't, that doesn't click for me.
so there's no credit check, there's no interest, and those companies are going to like match the best prices you can find on the internet. Usually you'll have your equipment within a week, and then you start making payments. And usually you can make payments like 12 months. Some plans can go up to 18 months. But you're able to get started and get out there and start making money, and you don't have to like save up like thousands of
It doesn't have
dollars.
to be a big purchase or a splurge. It
Yeah.
can be
So
a small payment over time kind of thing.
absolutely.
Yeah, super helpful.
Are you a music artist trying to find a way to get your music on as many streaming platforms as possible? Then check out DistroKid. DistroKid is a super user-friendly and super easy-to-use service that will make your music available in stores like Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, Snapchat, everything. Everything you could imagine, it's available. People will even be able to add your songs into their Instagram stories. DistroKid helps you with the distribution, monetization, and promotion of all of your music. Use the link in the description of this video for 7% off any DistroKid package you want. Pick from musician packages designed to help artists get their own music out there, or even get a label package where you can manage up to 100 artists from one profile. So that's more for like managers, labels, and you can also get the musician package that I mentioned earlier, which is more for artists, producers, things like that. It's super easy, and you can get 7% off any package right now with the link in the description of this video. So once again, if you're looking for a way to get your music on as many streaming platforms as possible, I'm talking any platform you can think of, get DistroKid and get 7% off right now with the link in the description. Back to the program.
For you, when you're getting started, how did you decide on DJ Stace Lace being the name?
Oh boy. Okay, I DJed for a while without a DJ name. I did not like DJ Stacy. I was like, that could be anyone, you know? So actually an old business partner named Bernard, he used to be on one of our old record labels. And an old nickname, when he would come to the studio to record, he always used to call me Stace Lace. He'd be like, Stace Lace, how you doing? And so, and the only other nickname I had ever had in life was Candy. And that's a little bit too much of a stripper name, so we couldn't go with Candy. I mean, we could. I could do whatever I want, but I don't want anyone getting the wrong idea about what kind of entertainer I am, you know? I mean, I can dance, but not that
Yeah.
kind of dancing,
Yeah.
you know? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I went with Stace Lace. It's not the easiest name, and I honestly I have tried to change it a few times, but people that became my fans, they refused to let me. They're like, no, Stace Lace is perfect. I was like, are you sure? People call me Stacy Lacy or Stacy Lace or Stace. I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Stace
Yeah.
Lace is it is. That's I'm stuck with it, and that's where it came from. So
Hey, at least
Bernard,
you
if you
have,
ever hear this, thanks for the nickname. Thanks for my DJ name, Bernard. Thanks.
and at least you have fans who care that much or are that supportive of the name. You know, I think it
For sure.
sort of proves that you have a following and proves that there are like eyes on you, which always helps. And so eventually, at some point, you said like 2011 is probably when you start taking it seriously. Like, I want to DJ, I want to do this. When does the opportunity to DJ for the Sacramento Kings come along?
Oh man, it was a magical opportunity. Okay. And
Was
this
that a
a lot of
like talking to mentors kind of thing, or did it just like come up on its own?
it came up on its own. It was 2021. I was DJing this event called Self Care Sundays, and a very good friend of mine, Nicole, we're good friends now. In 2020, when everything was locked down, she decided to put together a self care Sunday for people to come out to a park and they could do yoga and like do paint and sip or something to get out of the house because
Yeah.
everyone was stuck inside and we could only assemble outdoors. And amazingly enough, that event grew like larger and larger every year to the point where now she doesn't even have to do the event anymore. She's a consultant for some really large brands because they like
Awesome.
what she did with Self Care Sundays. So I'm DJing this event. I'm basically her only DJ. And it's on Sunday mornings. It's 2021 after things are open again, and I'm working nights, but I still got to get up early in the morning on a Sunday to do this thing. So I was particularly sleepy this day, so I had coffee. So I was jumping up and down a little bit extra at a park while people are just hanging out doing yoga.
Yeah.
And the new coach for the Sacramento Kings lived in that community. She was in her apartment and she could hear someone playing music outside. And she was like, who is that? That sounds really good. So she came outside with her dog. She sat down next to me, listened for a while. And after I was done and I started breaking down all of my equipment, she started asking me questions about who I knew. And then she basically revealed, hey, I think you would be a really good fit for the Sacramento Kings. And they are having auditions in 2 days. And I didn't even know they were having auditions. The Sacramento Kings weren't even on my radar. I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yay, things are finally back open. I'm just so grateful for that. And at that time, I was still like working to make ends meet because DJing was really tough during that time.
I'm
And
sure.
so
Yeah.
I had applied for a job, and I tell you the truth, every time things got tough with my DJ business throughout the years, if I would apply for a job or get hired on for a job, immediately my business would pick back up again. So
If that's not a sign, I don't know what it
I
is.
know, right? It was yeah, the universe was like, no, this way. So I had applied for a job and I was about to go on that Tuesday. I was going to go to my second interview. And so she's telling me, oh no, there are auditions that day. And I was just like, oh my God, what should I do? Should I go to these auditions or go to the second interview? I was like, the auditions, duh. And so with the second interview, I messaged them and said, hey, can we, change the schedule? And of course, they agreed to it. Everything was fine. I showed up 2 days later to the audition, saw a lot of DJs there that I knew, and some that I'd worked with before, some amazing DJs from here in Sacramento. And out of those DJs, there were two of us that were chosen as new DJs for the Sacramento Kings. And
Awesome.
I was just like really impressed with myself at that point. I knew I'd gotten it though. After the audition, I got great feedback while I was there from all the managers and all the people that would be in charge of entertainment. And they immediately told me, they were like, wow, your song selection is amazing. You are what we're looking for. Like you already have what we're looking for. And I was just like, okay, but there are other people coming after me. There might be someone else that they like. But yeah, a few days later, I got the call and I was just like, wow, this is my life. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Heroek, and this episode is sponsored by me. Well, kind of. If you don't know, I recently started a clothing line called Quest Clothing, which you can shop right now. I'll leave some pictures here on the screen, but we got the Core collection, which is just this sleek black and white design on a bunch of products. And then we also have some more like merch style stuff with cover arts for my songs and things like that. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I'm really excited that I now have it. And so expect a lot more collections, a lot more designs coming out soon. I'll leave a link to it down below, and if you want to stay up to date with any new releases or anything like that, follow at Shop Quest Clothing on Instagram. So go get cool designs like this, or even this, and you'll be helping me support all of this, the podcast, the music, everything. Plus, it just looks cool. We even got this nice big letter design on the back. Look at that. Look how cool that looks. So head to the link in the description to get yourself some Quest clothing, and make sure to follow at Shop Quest Clothing on Instagram for updates with new collections and stuff like that. And now, back to the episode.
So what exactly is it like DJing for an NBA team? Is that like doing events before and after games? Are you picking music like in the warm-ups? What is the life of an
Ooh.
NBA DJ like?
Well, one of the great things about the Kings is, and understanding the culture, they allow us to choose the music. There are some things that they, some themes. Some of our games do have themes. Like we'll have like
Yeah.
ladies' night, college night, um, uh, Bollywood night. We have all types of themes here in Sacramento because we have such a diverse community. So we do take it upon ourselves to find the right music for the right moments. But the DJs there are mostly self-directed. So during the games, we're playing lots of different music that we know that the crowd is going to like. And then there are times like yesterday where we have in-house events. I went and DJ'd for the staff yesterday at the Golden One Center, which was a lot of fun. Sometimes we do pre-parties, after parties. There's a nice bar right outside of the arena where we DJ out there sometimes too. And then the Sacramento Kings, they send us out to do all types of things because we're in demand. So it's to put it very clearly, I have a lot of fun. I work with some of the most amazing people I've ever worked with ever. And everyone is so like positive, but we're all on the same wavelength. We're all about entertaining. Sports is also entertainment,
Yeah.
and we just want to give all of our fans a good time. We
Yeah.
want them coming back, whether the team loses or wins. We want them to say, well, at least the music was good.
Yeah, no, it's like thinking about sports in general, especially like the NBA. I feel like a lot of people think about like, obviously players and coaches and then like front office and that's more or less it. But it's so interesting hearing like a first take of like, the other employees or other entertainers of the team, because there are DJs, there are people who like so many other employees who work with the team in ways that like a lot of people don't think about off the top of their heads or things like that. And and it's funny that you start doing these self-care Sundays in a park and like bring it full circle. You just did concerts in the park
Oh
in
yes, I did.
Sacramento as well. What was that like, being a part of a festival with like such a huge roster and this big like poster of all these names? What was that like for you?
Oh, it's just so much fun. It's a lot of fun, especially like working with other artists. Everyone is literally there pursuing their dream. So,
Yeah.
no matter if we're nervous or not, everyone's like really supportive. Everybody wants to like give hugs and like, let me follow you. You're so amazing. So it's fun. And then of course, we're putting on a show for the people at the park. It's a free event, but we don't want it to ever feel like a free event. So,
Yeah.
concerts in the park. This was my second year participating, and I had a great time. We had a cool dance party after all the bands were done. We had some
Awesome.
street dancers and break dancers come out after and throw down some cardboard, and they were spinning on their heads and everything out there. It was so fun. But I love doing things like that, and just like bringing joy to someone's Friday afternoon. Why not?
Yeah, yeah, awesome. And It is like so fun that I mean it sounds like a great setting, like you said, of everyone like being supportive, and like as much as you're there, quote unquote, working it, like you're having a great time as well, meeting all these people who are so into music as well. And it's I know, I mean, something like that probably has a good amount of marketing. Like you said, you start following all the people you work with. How
Mhm.
does, because I feel like it's a big thing in DJing, but like with basically every music artist and everything nowadays, like social media and like marketing online, like how does that affect your DJing?
As well, as far as the marketing and things like that go.
Yeah, like marketing yourself, putting up like pictures and videos, like just
As
how ingrained social media has become in like the music industry.
Yes. So I guess one of the positive things about the pandemic was all the things that I learned how to do, like DJing, like on Zoom, or like creating content. Like I created a ton of content while I was inside.
And
And so
didn't we all? Didn't we all? This entire podcast is a pandemic project.
yes, absolutely. Um, so getting a chance to do all those things, it gave me an opportunity to do, like, I did graduations through by Zoom. Um, I've heard of DJs doing weddings over Zoom. There's so many things that you can do on a Zoom meeting now. But knowing all of those things that are a bit more complex, it made it even more simple to make content for my Instagram. In 2020, I learned how to make flyers on Canva. I got really good at it. I'm really good at using all the tools to make anything now. I became way more self sufficient with things having that time during the pandemic. But social media definitely makes me want to be a better DJ all the time. I get to see other DJs and what they're doing, but I want to just give people an experience. If I'm going to put a flyer out there and people show up, I'm like want to kind of guarantee them a good time.
Yeah.
I definitely want to start making more musical content for my Instagram. Every time I start to do that, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do these things. I got to do these things. Like
Yeah.
I I stay busy as a DJ, which is incredible. Um, I, I can't say more about how grateful I am to have this life, but at the same time, I do need to make more content and share it quite a bit more. I want to start like doing some lives and putting more of what I'm doing on my story. I can be quite a perfectionist at times,
Yeah.
so I'm like, nah, I don't know, not today. And most people don't even care; they just want to see me do something.
Yeah, yeah, they're there for you, not what you're doing or whatever
Hmm.
content you're putting out, which is awesome. That's like the dream, you know. And you mentioned DJing weddings. You have like a DJ wedding, a wedding DJ duo that you're a part of, right? Luxe Love, or that you work with.
Yes.
Yeah, and so when you're doing those sets, how is it different than like you DJ Stace Lace going out or DJing for the Kings? Like is there some like other practice or other art to DJing a wedding?
Oh yeah, it really is. DJing a wedding is very different because it's so customized.
Hmm.
One of the things I pride myself on is like customization for a wedding. I want the couple that's there to like hear everything they want, and all their favorite music should be played on the most important day of their life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want their reception to be an absolute party. And yeah, I want everything to flow very well. And working with an MC, with Luxe Love, that's Kedrian Brown. He's the MC. So he's the voice, and I'm the DJ whenever we do weddings together. So I
Awesome.
get a chance to just like dial in and make sure like the playlist is
Yeah.
perfect, and he can take care of the talking parts.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
the
yeah,
MC, the hyping up, getting everyone involved, things like that.
yes, but most people that hire me to DJ their wedding, they hire me because they've always already been to a club or a bar, and they're like, yeah, I want my reception to be like we're at the club. And I was like, I will do that. I will mix this. I will give you the best transitions. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
everybody jump up and down, that just like you like.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
that's my approach to
And
weddings. Let's party. Let's go.
yeah, let's party. And I think that is a big thing, customization, because I feel like, I mean, obviously I've basically no experience with weddings, but it makes sense that like there when looking for a DJ, it's about the customization. It's about how well can you bring in the different parts that different songs and styles that we're interested in, rather than, maybe it's like technical skill or stuff like that, or gear. And so it is a different skill.
Hey, if you're like me and you're interested in the YouTube or creator space, you should check out The Publish Press. The Publish Press is a completely free newsletter founded by YouTubers Colin and Samir. They host their own podcast talking to some of YouTube's largest creators. They've edited some of the best content I've seen on YouTube, and now they're sharing their knowledge about the YouTube space with you for free. The Publish Press comes out 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with everything going on with your favorite creators and platforms. And like I said, it's completely free. Just enter your email address to receive the Publish Press whenever it comes out, and that's it. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below, sign up to the Publish Press, and get all the info you need on the industry.
If you got some like magical chance to, headline a big DJ or electronic music festival with any other DJ in the world, who would you want to like co-headline with?
Calvin Harris.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I love Calvin Harris. He crushes it. And
Harris
like,
too. Calvin, if you're listening, I love you. We're just gonna
Calvin, if
call him,
you're listening,
you know,
do a show with Stacy.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I got to see Calvin Harris in Vegas, and that was like one of the highlights of my life. I'll never forget. And all my
That's
friends there were
awesome.
tired and their feet hurt. And me and my sister-in-law, we were like, nah, me and you, girl, we're gonna get to the front. We're just gonna like push these people out of the way and get to the front. But yeah, that would be super dope if I could play with Calvin Harris.
Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't seen him live yet, but I really want to, because like he is on top of this. I'm like starting to get into music production and going to school for it, and it's like he is like the probably the biggest like example of what I want to be, like working with these top tier artists and whatnot. But rather than like a name in the credits, it's like his Spotify page. He's still an artist as well as a producer, and it's like that's the dream job. That's the life right there.
And his level, like his level of creativity, he can
Oh yeah,
create so many genres of music, and then I feel like he's almost created his own genre within that. You know what I mean? Like no
yeah,
one can do it like him. But all those different again, he's like following his heart, and look, he's affected the both of us just by following his heart and making that amazing music.
yeah, yeah.
I hope he sees
And
this, don't you?
absolutely, absolutely. So Calvin, if you're listening, you have 2 things. You got to DJ with Stacy, and you got to come on this podcast.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Yeah. So with like, over 10 years of DJ experience, is there a set you've done that like really sticks in your mind as like a favorite?
Favorite set? I I don't know. I don't know if I have any
Yeah, no, that's
favorites.
fine. That's
I always
fine.
hope that the next one will be my favorite too.
You know what? I think that's a good mindset. I think that's one of the best answers you could have given. Like, I think that is, as long as it's to the point of like hoping it's the best set and then not getting disappointed if it's not. That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. Like you go into it with the confidence that this will be my best set, and then even if it's not by someone's standard, then you don't let it get you down or whatnot, or
Oh
you
no.
bring on that same mindset of, okay, well, the next one's going to be that, and you just keep going at it.
Yeah, as an artist, you really can't rely on other people's standards. Because I mean, as in one of your it's weird to say it this way, but part of your responsibility as an artist is to do it anyway. If
Hmm.
no one else has done it, oh my gosh, you're supposed to do it. It's meant for you, and it's not. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to anyone else or trying to do things like anyone else does it, because again, it wouldn't be you. It still wouldn't be your art. my art is taking other people's music and remixing it, and like matching the keys or like matching the beat or making two songs that are totally different merged together. And people are like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, how are you mixing Kiss right now with Dr. Dre? Like, how dare you? And how did you do that? Like, one of the things I love to do is like take a soundtrack from classic rock and like put hip hop on top of it, put hip hop lyrics or a little bit of R&B in there, and people are like, I love this and I love this. Like, and I can have two
People are
different
like,
groups
I
of
don't
people
understand how
loving
this
the
works, but it
same.
really works, and I love
Yeah,
it.
but I'm literally taking a room full of different people and merging their experience together and building off of their nostalgia, and they'll be like, this reminds me of high school, except it also reminds me of when my kids were in high school. I remember when they liked this song and I like this song too. So that's like one of my favorite things to do is remixing. Quite often I can be a little bit of a jokey joke maker after my sets. If I get on the microphone, sometimes people don't want to give it to me, but I'll get on the mic and I'll say, thank you for enjoying me playing other people's music. Because I
mean,
still love and appreciate the artists that can like make music from scratch. My son actually does that, and I'm just like,
awesome.
It blows my mind.
Yeah. And on a similar note to the like co-headline collaboration question, is there like a bucket list of venues or festivals that you want to DJ at?
Oh, I don't. Okay, so if anybody's listening out there, I don't have any venues in particular, but like one of my dreams now that I'm aware of, because last year I got a chance to DJ at a beach club in Mexico when I went to Cabo. I just talked to a few people I was there, and they were like, oh, you're a DJ? Oh, we got to have you DJ at this beach club. So I got to DJ like at a place called Milky Beach in Cabo. If you ever go to Cabo, go check it out. Everybody there is amazing. And like just a few, like I'm DJing, here's sand, there's sand and the ocean is like just a few meters away from me. And people are there having a great time. They're hearing me play while they're swimming in the water. I'm just like, I was like, wow. So like those are the type of venues I like. I would love to like just continue DJing venues on the beach or just like around the world. And because I have that kind of eclectic taste where I know I can spin it anywhere and people will have a good time and enjoy it. But yeah, I definitely love to travel. So music festival wise, I mean, Coachella, like wouldn't, I
Who
know
doesn't?
people that have DJ'd there. So I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. But yeah, why not Coachella, or why not like Ultra, why not?
Why not? So it's interesting if you're big on like the like on the beach sort of DJ sets. The last question I have for you before we start wrapping up here is like, if you're back at that, if you're back at Milky Beach and people are in the water and you're DJing, what are like 3 songs for a great like beach DJ set?
Oh man, 3 great songs. Golly. I can think of artists more than I can songs.
Okay, yeah, so artist works too. Artist works too.
Yeah. Let's go with genres, because like when I'm DJing on the beach, I'll play a little bit of reggae for the for the feel of it, for that vacation feel. But then I'm gonna throw in some dance hall, and then I'm gonna mix that with some reggaeton, because it's like yeah, we're here on vacation, but we still gotta make those booties move a little bit. Like, come on, let's go. Gotta make the hips move. Gotta get into it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much for coming on, talking to us about how you got started, your DJ career, and all the other careers you've had, which I didn't know about.
We didn't even
when we sat down,
the surface of all those, but those don't even matter anymore.
They still matter. They brought you to where you are now, so they matter. They matter.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was a teacher for a while, so I still enjoy teaching anything I know. That's something that sticks with me. And We're not going to talk about how old I am right now, but I literally work with some of the kids that used to go to the school where I used to teach.
Yeah, that's definitely an experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, my children
Yeah.
are old enough to be in the scene, and my daughter, she's also a full-time DJ. She followed in the musical footsteps as well, and so yeah, teaching her and sharing with her everything. Yeah, I think that teaching and leading a team were probably like the best experiences I had,
Yeah.
because it taught me how to talk to people, how to network, and how to care for people.
Would you
Here
ever
we are.
DJ with your daughter? Like do a
Oh,
set together?
we do all the time.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, thank you again so much for coming on. If feel free to shout out or promote anything you have, whether that's, social medias, a website, any shows or sets you have coming up. And yeah, just letting the people know what you have going on.
Wow. Let's see where we start. Well, next weekend, I've got 6 gigs in 3 days. The ones you can go to, I'll be at Dr. Wilkinson's in Calistoga on Friday the 14th. On Saturday the 16th, I'll be at Darling Aviary at 9 p.m. And then I'll be back on K Street in Sacramento at Tiger on that Sunday at 4 o'clock. And then I'll be back at Darling Aviary again right after that. They're right next door to each other. It's easy.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, we'll go check out DJ Stace Lace wherever you can, if you can make it. And thank you for coming on. It was an awesome time.
Hey, I had a great time. Thank you so much for having me. And I wish you the best of success in following your heart.
Thank you. Thank you.